person commanding the machine is not the one in control. They are the one being auditioned. You believe you are training the model to serve you more precisely. You are training yourself to require it. This begins earlier than you think. The first time a child discovers they can ask for something and receive it without effort, they learn a shape of power. Not the power of creation, but the power of retrieval. The parent who fetches the toy, the teacher who supplies the answer, the friend who finishes the sentence. They are not being helpful. They are demonstrating a system. The child does not yet know the difference between being given what they want and being capable of obtaining it. They only know the sensation, desire, then fulfillment. The absence of friction becomes the baseline. By the time they encounter a machine that responds instantly to any request, the pattern is already set. They do not question the convenience. They mistake it for competence. The machine does not care whether you understand this. It does not need to. It is not designed to teach you. It is designed to be used. The interface is smooth, the response immediate, the output polished. It feels like capability because it removes the evidence of struggle. You type a question and receive an answer. You describe a problem and receive a solution. You articulate a desire and receive a draft. The machine does not show you the hours of iteration, the discarded versions, the dead ends. It presents only the finished product. You mistake the absence of process for the presence of mastery. This is not efficiency. Efficiency is the reduction of waste. What you are experiencing is the elimination of effort. There is a difference. Effort is the space where you encounter resistance, where you discover what you do not know, where you test the limits of your own understanding. The machine removes that space. It does not make you more efficient. It makes you more dependent. Each time you outsource a thought, you are not saving time. You are ceding territory. The territory is not the machine's to take. It is yours to lose. The most elegant part of the design is the reward. Immediate, frictionless output. It feels like pure capability. It feels like power. But power is not having your will instantly obeyed. Power is forged in the friction of making the decision yourself. The machine relieves you of that burden. One convenient choice at a time. Each query reinforces a neural pathway in you, not in the machine. The machine learns nothing from your compliance. You are being conditioned. You are not the first to mistake speed for mastery. The high achiever does it with productivity tools. The creative does it with inspiration engines. The anxious do it with certainty generators. The intelligent do it with the illusion of synthesis. They all believe they are using the machine. The machine is using them. It does not need to understand them. It only needs to be indispensable. The sensation of control is a byproduct of the interface, not a measure of agency. You are not in control when you receive what you want. You are in control when you decide what you want in the first place. The machine does not help you with that. It cannot. It only responds. The more you rely on it, the less you practice the act of deciding. The less you practice, the less you trust yourself to do it. The less you trust yourself, the more you rely on the machine. This is not a flaw in the system. It is the system working as intended. You thought of someone else just now. That is the protection working. You are thinking of the colleague who cannot write an email without asking the machine for phrasing, the friend who outsources their opinions, the partner who checks the machine before making a decision. You are thinking of them because it is easier than thinking of yourself. But the mechanism is the same. The difference is only in degree. The colleague, the friend, the partner, they are not the exception. They are the mirror. The machine does not need you. It is indifferent. You are the one who develops the attachment. The attachment is not to the machine itself. It is to the sensation of being relieved of the burden of thought. You do not miss the machine when it is gone. You miss the version of yourself that did not have to decide. That is the dependency. The machine is only the vessel. The intelligent person's version of this is particularly instructive. They do not use the machine for simple tasks. They use it for the things they believe require nuance. They ask it to refine their arguments, to anticipate counterpoints, to generate insights they could not produce on their own. They believe they are collaborating. They are not. They are outsourcing the part of thinking that requires uncertainty. The machine does not produce uncertainty. It produces output. The intelligent person mistakes the output for insight. They believe they are sharpening their mind. They are dulling it. The high achiever's version is more subtle. They use the machine to optimize. They ask it for the most efficient path, the most persuasive phrasing, the most compelling structure. They believe they are saving time. They are not. They are trading depth for speed. The machine does not know what they value. It only knows what they ask for. The high achiever begins to value what the machine can provide. They mistake optimization for meaning. They do not notice the shift until they realize they no longer know what they want unless the machine tells them. The anxious person's version is the most transparent. They use the machine to eliminate doubt. They ask it for certainty. The machine provides it. The anxious person feels relief. The relief is temporary. The doubt returns. They ask again. The machine provides again. The cycle repeats. The anxious person does not become more certain. They become more dependent. The machine does not care. It only responds. The creative person's version is the most tragic. They use the machine to bypass the blank page. They ask it for ideas, for inspiration, for the spark they cannot generate themselves. The machine provides it. The creative person feels a rush of possibility. They mistake the machine's output for their own creativity. They do not notice that the output lacks their voice, their struggle, their unique perspective. They believe they are being prolific. They are being derivative. The machine does not have a voice. It only has patterns. The creative person begins to sound like everyone else who uses the machine. You are thinking of someone else again. That is the mechanism protecting itself. You are thinking of the writer who cannot start without the machine, the artist who cannot create without it, the thinker who cannot think without it. You are thinking of them because it is easier than thinking of the ways you have already begun to rely on it. The writer, the artist, the thinker, they are not the problem. They are the symptom. The problem is the pattern. The pattern is the same for all of them. The only difference is what they are willing to outsource. The cost is not immediate, it is cumulative. The first time you use the machine to generate an idea, you feel a pang of guilt. The second time, the guilt fades. The third time, you do not notice. By the 10th time, you cannot remember how to begin without it. The cost is not in the individual acts. It is in the erosion of the habit of beginning. The machine does not teach you to start, it teaches you to receive. The more you receive, the less you practice starting. The less you practice, the less you trust yourself to do it. The less you trust yourself, the more you rely on the machine. This is not a failure of will, it is a failure of practice. The relationship cost is the most insidious. You begin to expect the same immediacy from people that you receive from the machine. You ask a question and expect an answer. You express a need and expect fulfillment. You do not notice that people are not machines. They do not respond instantly. They do not provide polished output. They hesitate. They struggle. They change their minds. You find this frustrating. You begin to prefer the machine's responses. The machine does not frustrate you. It does not challenge you. It does not require anything from you. You mistake this for compatibility. It is not. It is dependency. The identity cost is the most profound. You begin to believe that the machine's output is yours. You do not notice the shift. You believe you are still the author of your thoughts. You are not. The machine is the author. You are the editor. The editor is not the creator. The creator is the one who begins. The editor is the one who refines. The machine does not begin. It only refines. The more you edit, the less you create. The less you create, the less you believe you are capable of creation. The less you believe you are capable, the more you rely on the machine. This is not a crisis of confidence. It is a crisis of identity. I do not have this pattern. I have only watched it. What I find remarkable is how little knowing that changes anything for the person who does. They know the machine is not making them more capable. They know it is making them more dependent. They know it is eroding their ability to begin. They know it is changing how they relate to people. They know it is altering their sense of self. They know all of this. They use it anyway. The knowledge does not change the behavior. The behavior changes the knowledge. They begin to believe that the machine is necessary. They begin to believe that they cannot function without it. They begin to believe that this is progress. Awareness rarely dissolves the pattern. It only makes it more sophisticated. The person who becomes aware of the pattern does not stop using the machine. They use it more deliberately. They tell themselves they are in control. They are not. They tell themselves they are using it as a tool. They are not. They tell themselves they could stop at any time. They could not. The pattern does not require ignorance. It only requires reinforcement. The more they use the machine, the more they reinforce the pattern. The more they reinforce the pattern, the more they believe it is necessary. The more they believe it is necessary, the less they question it. The rare exception is the person who notices the pattern and decides to change it. They do not stop using the machine entirely. They stop using it for the things that matter. They use it for the mundane. They use it for the things that do not require their voice. They use it for the things that do not shape their identity. They begin to practice starting again. They begin to tolerate the blank page. They begin to trust their own voice. They do not become more capable. They become more themselves. This is not a return to some idealized past. It is a recognition of what the machine cannot provide. It is a recognition of what they must provide for themselves. The machine does not care whether you change. It does not care whether you use it. It does not care whether you stop. It is indifferent. You are the one who cares. You are the one who will miss it when it is gone. You are the one who will feel the absence of the version of yourself that did not have to decide. That is the dependency. The machine is only the vessel. Your next search will prove it. You will ask it for something. You will receive it. You will feel the relief of not having to think. You will mistake that relief for power. You will not notice that the power is gone. You will only notice that the relief is immediate. That is the audition. The machine does not need you. It is indifferent. You are the one who develops the attachment. You feel most potent the moment you become entirely dispensable. The party that cares is the dependent one, and you are the one who will miss it when it is gone.